Hello everyone, my name is Keval. I am currently studying in ICT department at Marwadi University, Rajkot. In this video, we are going to talk about the topic topologies. This topic was included in our subject Introduction to Communication Engineering. This whole thing was guided by our HOD, Professor C.D. Parmar sir. Let us begin. So, physical topologies are of two types. One is point-to-point and the other is multi-point. In point-to-point, the entire capacity of the link is reserved for transmission between the two devices. And in multi-point, the capacity of the channel is shared either spatially or temporarily. As you can see here, in point-to-point there is only one link. And in multi-point there is one link, but there are several stations here. Moving on to the categories. There are basically four categories of topology: mesh, star, bus and ring. One by one we will talk about each of the category. Let us start with mesh topology. In mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device, as you can see in the animated picture. Here, mesh topology is robust. There is an advantage of privacy and security since there is a one-to-one connection, or we can say point-to-point connection. It also eliminates the traffic problems. Due to the point-to-point connection, the fault identification and the fault isolation is easy. The main disadvantage of a mesh are related to amount of cabling and the number of ports required. Due to it, the hardware can be expensive. The installation and reconnection is also difficult. Next is the star topology. In star topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point link only to a central controller, usually called a hub. Here, in this image, the hub is right in the center. It is less expensive than a mesh topology. It is also easy to install and reconfigure. The star topology is also robust just like mesh topology. It also has an advantage of privacy and security. Also, the fault identification and the fault isolation is easy. The biggest disadvantage here is the dependency of the whole topology on a single hub. If the whole hub goes down, all of the connections will go down. Here, more cabling is required, and therefore the hardware can be expensive. Next is the bus topology. In bus topology, nodes are connected to the bus cable by drop lines and taps. This is called the drop line, and the circular is called the tap. Here, less cabling is required than the first two topologies. Here, it is easy to install and reconfigure. As a signal travels along the backbone, some of its energy is transformed into heat. Therefore, it becomes weaker and weaker as it travels farther and farther. The disadvantage here is that it includes difficult reconnection and fault isolation. Here, the hardware can probably be expensive due to the drop lines and taps. And the last is the ring topology. In ring topology, a signal is passed along the ring in one direction from device to device until it reaches its destination. As you can see in the animated picture, the connection moves from one device to other device. If one of the connection fails, the whole ring fails. We also have a solution for it. We can either use a dual ring or a switch. Here, less cabling is required. It is also again easy to install and reconfigure. And to add or delete a device, it requires changing only two connections. The only constraints are media and traffic considerations, like the maximum ring length and the number of devices. The unidirectional traffic can be a disadvantage. A break in the ring can disable the entire network, as we discussed earlier. This was all about topologies. I hope you understood these four types of topologies. I hope I explained well. In the technical part, I would like to share my experience. I was confident enough in the topology part, in the PPT part, in the OBS part, and in the video making part henceforth. In the non-technical part, I had to revise this concept, and I now have a good grasp on it. Thank you.